Welcome back. Right now, we have an inspirational story to share. I'm going to speak with Stan Hayes of Operation BBQ Relief. They are providing meals for those that need it during this time. In fact, they've been providing meals for individuals all across the country for disaster relief since 2011. Stan, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
So tell me more about Operation BBQ Relief. You're in Kansas City right now. I'm excited to hear how you are helping those that really need it right now.
Yeah, so, Operation BBQ Relief started almost 9 years ago after the Joplin tornado by a bunch of barbecue guys that really just wanted to go out and help and see what they could do to make a difference in the community. And as we started thinking about how we were going to do things differently, we go set up in a massive parking lot right now, and that's what we do to put out the number of meals. I mean, we put out as many as 50,000 meals in a day, with a couple hundred volunteers and taking up the space of a couple of football fields. But you really can't do that during a time like this because you have, social distancing, you have not congregating, and if we set up something that big, you just have a lot of people flood there. Today we're out here, we're going to hand out meals, but we're doing this through groups, small groups that can put meals out on the streets to the people in need. And we started it with a restaurant program here in Kansas City as a pilot that's actually already moved to about four other areas. And that restaurant pilot is going to a restaurant that has closed or is closing their doors because business is down so much that they're having to lay off staff, that they're having to close their doors, and they're, taking something out of the community. And we come in and we help prop up the business, give them some financial support for the restaurant, for bringing back employees, and they put out 2,500 meals a day from that restaurant into the community to feed the people in need. So today we're actually going to be doing 1,000 meals here in outside of Sporting Kansas City. The professional soccer team has partnered with us to put together a drive-through. So right behind me, people will start coming down the road right here and come in. And as they come down the road, you'll see over my shoulder that there's some people back here waiting to hand out what we'll call a family pack, which is enough food for a family of four, protein, starch, and a side item. And, they can take that home, heat it back up, put it in their fridge, whatever they need to do, to keep, the family fed. And this is just one example of many that we're doing out there to help feed the people in need.
Well, it looks like a beautiful day in Kansas City, and this makes so much sense, really. You're helping people. There's so many individuals who are suffering loss of wages, loss of jobs. They need these meals, and then you're also helping restaurants. But at the same time, my mind is boggled to think about this incredible undertaking, 1,000 meals. How do you do this?
Well, there's a lot of logistics involved. Actually, by the end of this week, we'll serve a little over 220,000 meals across, six different locations or cities. We took on this and started this week feeding in the state of Pennsylvania. 180,000 meals will go out in Pennsylvania, but another almost 35,000 will go out between Kansas City, Bakersfield, California, Hilton Head, South Carolina, areas that have been, heavily impacted by the closure of resorts and so many people in the hospitality industry.
Oh, yes, we're definitely feeling the effects of that in our community. So it's exciting that Operation BBQ Relief is spreading across the country. You mentioned that you've helped during other disasters, tornadoes, hurricanes. You touched on this a little bit. I'm curious, how are you taking this pandemic differently? There's many things with safety and sterilization that you likely have to tackle in a way that's different than other disaster reliefs.
Well, that's why using restaurants makes so much sense. They're already used to the continued the continued cleaning, sterilization of their work areas and everything. They're used to that. They just have to increase it. we provide them the information that we're working, the restaurants that we're working with, we provide them that information from the CDC so they know what's being recommended. And almost every one of them that I talk to are doing it more frequently and have a higher standard than what the CDC is even recommending, for food service. When we look at what we do, I mean, this is really the only model that makes sense right now to be able to replicate it across the United States, to be able to start feeding, hundreds of thousands of people, because this isn't a disaster that is in, the Gulf Coast or, one state or one city affected. This is a major, undertaking across the United States. And that's where having so many organizations, we're not the only one doing it, but, all of us have to work together to be able to help the masses at this point in time.
And this is essential meals and food that you are providing for thousands of individuals. You mentioned that this organization started almost 9 years ago. What made you decide to create this and be a part of this?
I tell everybody it's my wife's doing. The morning after the Joplin tornado, my wife looked at me and she said, you really need to go. And, being, a little bit of a smart aleck, I said, well, I'm late for work and all this. She's like, no, not work and everything. You need to get your barbecue friends, the people you compete with and everything, together and get them to go out to, Joplin. And instead of competing against each other, serve people food. Just come together and serve, barbecue. And, that was the genesis of making some phone calls as I drove to my office that morning to say, hey, what do you think about this? And the first 15-minute phone call, we hatched a plan, me and one of the other co-founders, Jeff Stith, to go down to Joplin and make a difference. And, what we thought would be 3 or 4 days and a few thousand meals ended up being 11 days and 120,000 meals from a parking lot. And at that point, we really knew that there was something there. We really knew that, hey, wait a second, we have something that, is helping people and it's filling a gap that exists out there. And we started it as a nonprofit and we've served over 3.2 million meals in 26 different states and the Bahamas, and 66 different disasters. And now, we're going to have upwards of, 10, 12, maybe 15 other cities that we're going to work in during this pandemic and trying to help as many people as we can.
Such an inspirational story, and I don't want to keep you any longer than I need to because you have meals to give out. Where can we get more information? Where can we donate? How can we help?
Yeah, the easiest way is, it's easy to remember, obr.org gets you to the website, and right there on the front page, has a donate button, and you can donate to help us serve meals across the country. You can also get more information about the organization there. You can also register if you want to be a volunteer for future. And then, our social media is also another great place, and our handle is just Op BBQ Relief for all social media handles, or all social media platforms, So we greatly appreciate the opportunity to tell you more about our story, though.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Stan, for joining us today. We wish you all the luck in the world and all the help that we can give you. Kansas City barbecue, helping others, providing meals, just a really inspirational story. So thanks, Stan, for joining us. We have more coming up. We'll be right back.